Hey guys.
Hey everybody.
How's it going out there?
They can't answer you, Frank.
We need to get out of that habit. It's a bad one.
Well.
Well, welcome to Thank God I'm Atheist.
The podcast.
We are found on the internet at...
we are on the internet.
We are on the internet.
We're splashed all over that thing.
Woo! Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter at TGI Atheist.
Yeah.
You can email us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Yeah.
The website is obviously www.thankgodimatheist.com.
Indeed it is.
And that's the blog.
Yeah. We'll get something up on that pretty quick here.
Yeah.
We had some technical difficulties with that this week.
Yeah.
I hope people weren't trying to go to it and not finding it because it was down for a second.
Was it?
Yeah, we had some troubles.
Oh, poop.
Yep.
That's too bad.
Oh, hey, there's a new thing on the web.
What's that?
There's a Facebook group.
Yeah.
That people could... oh, no, it's not a group. It's a page.
It's a page. You should like it.
You can like us on
Yes.
Facebook. But I think there might be multiple pages. Find the one that's about Frank and Dan and the podcast.
Yeah.
And then like it.
And you can
Like the shit out of it.
You can also just like us. Isn't that
As I laugh directly into the mic.
a feeble attempt at just having people liking us?
You could start your own page, Frank.
Yeah.
Or your own, yeah. Get people to just like you.
Please like me. You can also leave us a message.
This is my favorite thing, and nobody does it.
Nobody's done it yet. We've gotten some reviews on iTunes, and we like that.
Oh yeah, you're welcome to review us on the iTunes.
Yeah. But we'd also really like to hear from you. The voicemail number is 424-666-TGIA. That's 444. It's 424-666-8442.
Okay.
And that's just for feedback,
Yep.
ranting, and if there's anything out there that you
think we should be aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. And we'll even probably give you credit for telling us about it.
Ooh, maybe you'll even hear your voice on our podcast.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I think
all
that'd
those
be
of
fun.
you who wish you could be involved in this glorious podcast, but just don't have the opportunity.
Yeah.
There it is. Just call the number.
Just call it. All right, thanks. All right, so...
By the way, that was not a guarantee that we were going to put you on our podcast. You have to be interesting.
Well, yeah. Ew, rude. Like, we just had people thinking they wanted to call.
Oh, I know. I just ruined it.
Now you just wrote it down.
You know what? Just ignore what I just said.
I'm
want
the nice
everybody.
one. I'll play you.
That's true. Plus, he's the one that's like in charge of all the tech stuff. He could play you without my permission if he wanted to.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I've got a pretty awesome story.
Yeah, you were giggling pretty hard over there when you were looking at this thing.
Well, I highlight everything.
I know that's hard for
really
everybody to believe that you were giggling because we don't do any giggling.
No, not at all. I highlight the parts that I find interesting. I should have just not highlighted the parts that were bad in this one.
There's a lot of highlight on that page.
So this is from Santa Monica, and it was reported by the Associated Press. And the headline is Atheist Messages Displace CA Park. California Park Nativity Scenes. Atheist Messages Displace California Park Nativity Scenes.
Meaning Jesus keeps getting pushed back by all the atheist messages?
Well, what happened is apparently the city of Santa Monica has these plots that are available for local organizations to put up some sort of holiday-themed whatever, right?
Okay.
And they place no requirements on what they put up.
Well, they couldn't.
Well, right, exactly. And so, because it's free speech, hello. But traditionally, the Santa Monica Nativity Scenes Committee and the Santa Monica Police Officers Association have sort of gobbled up most of these spots.
Right, because who else would want them?
Yeah, exactly. And the spots are vandal-proof, cage-like areas, they're surrounded by chain-link fencing.
You put Jesus in the cage.
But there's been a push in the recent years to do more of a lottery system to make it a little bit more fair, open it up to other organizations.
Sure.
And so this year, Atheists got all but 3 of the spaces.
Oh, you sneaky little bastards.
And so the coalition got 2 spaces to display Jesus, Mary, and the wise men. And the third remaining space went to Isaac Levitansky of the Shabbat Hanukkah menorah.
Oh.
And
yay.
Yeah. So
so what did the atheists put up?
Oh, they're putting up signs. Things like,
oh, I'm so nervous.
Religions are all alike, founded on fables and mythologies. Thomas Jefferson.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Happy solstice.
Right.
Which, don't put that one up, atheists.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're Wiccan or something.
Yeah, but that's a religion, isn't it? That's a faith.
Yeah, but it's not a theology. It's not a God-based religion, is it? Maybe they have gods.
Gaia. I'm probably
it's all
totally
bullshit.
Wrong.
I don't even know.
I'm not even going to guess at what Wiccans believe.
Okay, write into us if you're a Wiccan and tell us why we're stupid.
Let's see. And then there's a display with photographs with there's King Neptune, Jesus Christ, Santa Claus, and Satan that reads, "Millions of Americans know myths when they see them. What myths do you see? American Atheist since 1963." With also their website. And so they are having some fun.
Yeah.
And I guess the people of Santa Monica are all up in arms.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Well, I mean, I would be
proud. Tradition got ruined. But what I really, really, really appreciate is at the end of the article is the city attorney, Marcia Motry.
You made that name up.
I know, Marcia Motry. Because one of the people that's kind of upset about the atheists getting all the spaces is saying that there needs to be local preference given in awarding the spaces. Because I guess a lot of these atheists are from out of town.
Oh. They're
not actually Santa Monicans.
That is bullshit.
But the city attorney says that First Amendment free speech rights do not have geographic boundaries. So therefore, you can't say that only a resident can use a public space in your city to speak out and say what they want to say. So,
although I wonder if that's a chess move to allow national religious organizations to throw their hats into the ring.
Sure, why not?
It'd be interesting. Anyway,
I don't care. I actually think it's a pretty fair system, a lottery. You know?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Seems one of the more fair ways I've ever heard of divvying up.
I just think, what would we put? What would Thank God I'm Atheist the podcast? If we threw our hats into the ring to get something, maybe we should.
We should next year.
Yes. Okay, you know what? I think maybe I'm going to consider putting up a donate button on thankgodimatheist.com to come up with something where we put our message out onto a billboard or onto something. Because people have been doing that, and frankly, I think 90% of the messages that go out there are retarded.
So what are you saying? What would the message be?
I don't know. I think we need to work on that.
Okay, so
I mean, it can't be for the trick of this, of course, for atheists is that we don't have a unified belief. Mm-hmm. Atheists, it's not a belief system. It's just a lack of one belief.
Yeah.
So, like, what do we put? But I mean, but it's important. I mean, obviously, we're doing this podcast. It's important to us, to get
absolutely.
the message out there. So, what's our message?
For me, I think it's come out.
Come out as an atheist?
Yeah, come out, talk about it. Because like, I was actually talking to my boss, for lack of a better word, about sort of the fact that I'm doing this podcast,
right,
and whatnot, and I mean, he's really supportive of it, and he says, that he believes that everybody at the organization is supportive, or would be. I don't know that everybody knows that I'm doing an atheist podcast, but I think that's really nice. And I'm one of the people who's in a really safe place. You know,
Right,
I'm out as
yeah.
gay at work. I'm out as atheist at work.
That's so great.
I'm not afraid of talking about it. I'm not afraid of even, talking about it with, the public that I work with.
Right.
Right. I have that level of support as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I know I'm one of the lucky ones, but I think that people need to really start looking around and realizing that they're one of the lucky ones.
Right.
That they do work at a cool place. Because, like, seriously, I had to take a moment to think about it. And I had to kind of talk to people at work about my comfort level. And
there is fear.
And their comfort level. And there's this natural fear that atheists have of, it doesn't really matter, in the long run, it doesn't matter to all these people. And if I did, is it going to change their perception of me? Is it going to risk my job?
Well, that it's the fact of the matter is, and I'm just, we talked last week about the study that was done in, I believe it was Oregon.
The trust thing, right?
Yeah. Like, I guess it was Oregon and British Columbia, University of British Columbia and University of Oregon did a study about who is trusted and stuff. And the big takeaway was that atheists are not trusted.
Right.
Well, the Washington Post picked up on it, and their takeaway, they're good at their headlines. Here's the headline is study, atheists distrusted as much as rapists.
Oh, that is a good headline.
Holy crap, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, and literally...
As much as rapists?
Yeah, they don't... Yeah, literally, like, rapists fare as well as we do when it comes to just... But, I mean, now that doesn't mean that...
What about atheist rapists? Okay. Sorry, I can't make rapist jokes.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
We might get more people writing in if we made more of those. Or calling. But yeah, what they said, now, mind you, the methodology, the questions in this study, I find a little sketchy.
Okay.
There was one that said, basically, if a fictional driver damaged a parked car and left the scene, then found a wallet and took the money, was the driver more likely to be a teacher, an atheist teacher, or a rapist teacher? Yeah. Yeah. I question your methodology, University of British Columbia and University of Oregon. I mean, I guess I sympathize with you.
How about a thief?
I mean, it is tricky to write a question that gets at who do you trust in this situation.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But honestly,
those were the three choices.
Yeah, it looks like that was the three choices.
There's no that. I'm crying foul. I'm crying flawed study.
Yeah,
that doesn't work.
No, I don't know that's a good way to get at what they're trying to get at. But anyway, that's the thing. But I mean, yeah, the point is that we are not a wholly trusted. I think we're a very misunderstood community.
I think the fact that they were willing to do that study,
right? Well, that says a lot,
actually
doesn't
put
it?
those two terms next to each other. Now,
Right.
I mean, who knows who these people really are?
Rapist teacher. Why is there a rapist teacher?
Oh, I hate rapist teachers. We had a rapist teacher at my high school. It was bad.
What did you
But
get
his
on your
class
rape
was
final?
very interesting. Yeah, exactly.
I hate my rape class. It's the worst class. He's so boring. Really? Who do you have for rape? Got Mr. Johnson for rape. Oh, no, you needed to take rape from Mr. somebody. Anyway.
Smith.
Mr. Smith is the best rape teacher. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, rapist teachers out there, equally distrusting or equally unworthy of trust as atheist teachers.
God,
it's so this world. You'll recall that one of the reasons I'm a very good worker, but I was fired from a job once.
Yeah,
and one of the reasons was that HR had been told that I was Mormon bashing, which I grant listeners that seems plausible.
Yeah, you have engaged in Mormon bashing.
Given who I am,
yes.
But I didn't engage in any Mormon bashing at work.
Right.
What I did engage in was, hey, you know what I find interesting about that? And literally just giving facts about Mormon history or Mormon whatever, never once saying it was wrong, never once saying anything bad about it.
Right.
However, you do that,
and that's
what's the difference between that and bashing? It's what we were talking about last week. It's the whole, if you say there is no God, right, you're attacking religion. Yeah. It's an attack.
Yeah.
Attack! We should have bugles. Atheists should all have bugles. And before we say anything that affirms our belief,
how about vuvuzelas?
Attack! Vuvuzelas?
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that during our whole podcast. The entirety of our podcast is just going to have in the background.
Yeah. No, it would make it a very popular podcast. I'm sure.
It would.
Everybody likes that sound.
I think across the board that is considered one. You can soothe a baby with that sound.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see.
What else you got?
I have. Well, I'm going to do this one.
Okay.
I thought this was interesting. In the Desert News, they have an article with the headline, Salt Lake most popular face. God, I can't talk today. Salt Lake most popular faith-based tourist destination.
What?
Yeah.
Our Fairburg
has been it tied with Israel.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Which is
we're talking world faith-based destinations.
World faith-based destinations. Now, what's important to remember here is that it's not actually looking at total numbers of visitors.
Okay.
Right.
Because there's no way we could compete with like Rome.
No, right? No, Rome, obviously, the Vatican City has far more than Salt Lake. Even though Salt Lake has,
we have a good number of visitors, but we're not talking about a thriving tourist industry the way the Vatican
not like Rome.
is.
Yeah, no. Gee whiz, no. And so, gee whiz.
I know. I was going to let it slide.
But anyways, so how they came to this was they did a survey of 1,600 tour operators who run faith-based travel trips, whatever, and they ranked Salt Lake as one of their favorites. Oh. And that in and of itself is interesting, great, all right. I can see people liking Salt Lake. It's clean.
It's an easy sell.
Everybody's going to be polite.
Nobody has to worry about weird. Americans at least don't have to worry about like weird food or like anything like that. Exactly. You try and convince an American to go to the Taj Mahal, and it's like, oh. Well, they've got, I hear India is scary.
I hear they have Indian food there.
Oh, that gives me gas.
Right. But what I think is actually interesting about this is down toward the bottom, it just kind of, how articles have like that throwaway right at the end.
Right,
It's just filler. They're like, oh, and as a runner-up, there was. Well, in this case, it was Quebec. And the line says, Quebec, known for its distinctive culture surrounding superstitions, finished behind Salt Lake and Israel.
Quebec being a faith center?
Right. Because of its superstitions. But that's appropriate, right?
A center of the superstitious faith.
Right. Yeah. But apparently, it's like a bunch of haunted houses?
Yeah, they got a lot of ghosty type stuff, I think, there. And they got like...
Catholicism?
Yeah, that's a great superstition. Although I would be surprised... I'm surprised New Orleans doesn't beat out Quebec.
I know, right? You would think.
I've been to Quebec City. I love Quebec City.
But
it's
again,
beautiful.
what they're ranking here isn't
Isn't what's
the quality
actually, right.
of what they're finding and what they're going to. They're just ranking whether the tour people like to go there.
Right.
And people would like to go to Quebec.
Yeah,
The
Quebec's
tour
great.
guides would want to go there. So
What tour guide? Oh, you know why? I'll bet tour guides hate taking people to New Orleans.
I bet it's awful.
Because everybody gets drunk and then you lose half your tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it's a mess. So, I mean, we're not dissing on New Orleans here. New Orleans is awesome.
It's so much fun, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
You can't keep a tour together if everybody's having an actual good time.
Right, exactly.
If everyone can just meander off and find their own fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Cool.
I stumbled on a website a while back, but I re-stumbled on it this week, and I have to make our listeners aware of it because it's so delightful.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It's called Fundies Say the Darndest Things.
Oh.
Or FSTDT.com. Sure. Fundamentalists. And all they do, they go and they sort of fish through fundamentalist websites, or like just they fish through all sorts of different types of websites and find like comments made by the nutty fringe.
So the thing that we all might be tempted to do because it's fun,
right?
They do, but it's also really annoying.
And they compile
They do it for us.
Yeah, so they
nice.
distill it down to some of the good stuff.
Okay, so like,
what
do
let's
they
see. They've got one that says, let's see, where was the one that I was looking at? Oh, that's a long one. There's one. I'm just gonna throw this out there. It's not that funny, but it's like, but this person says, "Atheist: do you not give birth after your own kind?" And the response is, long before Satan fed you of evolution, God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its kind." I guess then they go on to explain dogs do not give birth to roaches, man do not give birth to monkeys, shameless liars, we are not reproducing after our own kind. I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but what I'd love is that they're claiming somehow that some atheist, there's no atheist on the planet that would ever say, "Do you not give birth after your own kind?" This is in response, I think, to an evolution argument.
Yeah, they're saying because they don't understand that evolution takes place over a very long period of time and it's slow mutate. Like there's mutation and change and adaptation and all that, and they're like it takes a while.
It takes thousands of years.
You might have something that looks exactly like you, but that's subtly different.
Right.
Well, not exactly. If it's subtly different, it's not exactly like you. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that's wow. That's amazing.
Wait, here's another good evolution argument. And this, a lot of these stem from when a fundamentalist tries to wedge science into their religious belief.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
So this person says, and honestly, I can't tell if they're being real or if this is a troll, an internet troll trying to like trick people. Okay. But either way, it's funny. Obviously, Adam and Eve held the genetic information for the different variations that eventually resulted in offspring. Adam and Eve were probably Asian, as that is the medium between black and white. Gray can give you both black and white, but you can't get black from just white.
I'd like to order a medium human being.
Asians are gray.
Gray. Yeah.
How does that feel, Asians?
That's gross.
You feel gray?
That's horrendous. I'm offended for Asians everywhere.
I'm going to give one more because I think it will transition nicely into
our
next topic of conversation.
Cool.
This person is very adamant. This is a person named Elaine M. Jordan. I should be giving the names of these people that are leaving their comments.
Why not?
If they're throwing them out there. This is apparently from a website called Tradition in Action. Don't wear pants in the presence of the Pope. We defend that women should not wear pants. We sustain that women dressing as men is against natural law and Catholic morals. But if it were acceptable for women to commonly wear trousers, it would never be the case to do so in the presence of the Pope. The impropriety increases when the lady is the Chancellor of Germany and is receiving the Sovereign Pontiff, himself a German, on an official visit to the country. However, this is not what Chancellor Angela Merkel chose to do. An educated woman like Merkel should not be unaware that there is a rigorous protocol on how ladies should dress before the Pope. So one is led to wonder whether she, who is Protestant and the daughter of a Lutheran pastor, chose this apparel on purpose to scorn the Catholic Church and the Pope.
She's also a head of state. How does this woman who thinks that women should only wear skirts and dresses feel about that?
Right, exactly.
Oh my
Why
God.
isn't she making her husband a sandwich instead of leading a country?
Absolutely. I'd like to make this point.
Uh-huh.
How dare you wear pants in the presence of the Pope? Not even the Pope
Where's
pants in the presence of the Pope.
Hell, the Cardinals don't wear.
Cardinals don't wear.
These guys are pants-hating motherfuckers.
She needs to get on all the men
Yeah.
who are wearing pants in the presence of the Pope. I just like saying pants in the presence of the Pope.
Yes, that is a little fun thing. I love the phrase, we sustain that women dressing as men is against natural law and Catholic morals.
Natural law?
Women should not wear pants. Ladies, why are you wearing... Take off your pants. And I mean that in the dirtiest possible way.
Now. Right now.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
If you are listening to my voice...
It's better to be naked than to dress like a man.
I would rather you just do it without pants. Thank you. Yeah. So, anyway, Pope... Any
Pope, yeah.
I'm throwing it to you on the Pope.
I have to say, apparently, Mexican Catholics are not overly enthused about an upcoming visit from the Pope.
What?
Yeah, this is also in the Desert News.
They're Catholics. They love their Pope.
They do love the Pope.
Yes.
But they don't love this Pope in the way that they loved the last Pope.
Yeah.
Because let's
no,
face
you're
it,
right. They wouldn't.
Ratzinger is not cuddly. He's not a cuddly Pope.
Mexicans love their cuddly popes.
You know, John Paul was he was a nice, good,
he was kind of over cuddly.
He was overly cuddly, and he always spoke Spanish
Oh,
to the Mexicans. Well, I'm sure to anybody who spoke
I think
Spanish.
Ratzinger has tried to speak some Spanish, but I'm sure it sounds
doesn't come
awful.
out very good. Yeah, there's no way that guy speaks Spanish.
Nobody named Ratzinger could ever sound good to a Mexican ear.
Well, yeah. And so, but what they're noticing is that there are no, because obviously Ratzinger is Pope Benedict,
Right.
the 16th. It says that there are no Benedict-related items for sale during this major pilgrimage that happens at the Lady of the Guadalupe every year. That's happening right now, and so the Pope isn't coming until probably sometime before Easter next year. That he's going to hit Mexico.
Okay.
And yeah, they're kind of reading the lay of the land, and while the people on the ground are actually, saying things like his visit shows that he loves Mexico. In return, Mexico will love him as much as it loved John Paul II, according to a 23-year-old Mexican believer.
According to a 23-year-old Vatican press representative.
Well, no, this is a Mexican.
I know, I'm just kidding.
And she says, but we have to see him. We have to see his devotion to Mexico.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Pay us obeisance.
Yeah, and apparently, that's really interesting. But they knew John Paul's devotion.
Right.
And he was so loved, in fact, that the Vatican has presented his relics, a vial of his blood.
Oh, wow.
And a wax likeness in over 100 locations in the country.
There's 100 vials of his blood?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the creepiest shit
Isn't
ever.
that like they drained him of his blood so they could send it around the world.
I'll bet they have specific technologies that they have developed for the preservation of blood.
Yeah, legal only in the Vatican City.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep.
You creepy necromancing motherfuckers.
Yeah, they've got like these really creepy nuns. Nuns are creepy anyways, but they've got like this little cadre of creepy nuns that are just like studying cadavers and corpses.
Oh, yeah. They've got a whole science team devoted to like, how can we preserve this finger?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
They love bits and pieces of people.
They do love bits and pieces. I saw some crazy bits and pieces in Italy. I saw Doubting Thomas's index finger.
Right. He's like, I doubt that, and I doubt that.
Well, no.
Pointing.
He had to stick his finger in the resurrected Jesus' side.
Oh, right.
There's that story.
So that finger is holy.
That finger, because it touched the resurrected Jesus, is in some church in Rome.
Penetrated Jesus.
It was hard.
Oh, my God.
Doubting Thomas. Hi, Doubting Thomas.
Hey, Thomas. I hear you penetrated Jesus.
Well, no, Jesus with his come hither eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and come hither. Oh, I just flashed on something really bad. Like, we're going down some weird roads, and I was just like, suffer the children that they should come hither to me. And then it's like the come hither. Yeah. There's a problem.
Don't do that joke.
Well, I caught myself before I did it, and then I just explained what it was.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I think it's just interesting that the Pope doesn't necessarily generate, so much love and devotion.
Right. Hey, did we want to do a little interstitial thing today?
No, not today.
Okay. Then I just wanted to bring up a thing. This is just a quick thing. That I just read an article that was a big oopsie for the U.S. government. The Marines apparently sent out Christmas ornaments with Purple Hearts on them to all the Purple Heart recipients or something.
Okay.
Unfortunately, 1,100 or so of the recipients that they sent it out to had passed away. They hadn't actually checked to see if...
That's kind of...
Now that is a bit of an embarrassment.
That's a faux pas.
It is. But my problem with this story, and see, in this, I think they missed they buried the lead on the story. Because it's not about, oh, whoops, we sent it. It's about, why the fuck are they sending out Christmas ornaments at all? What business is it of our government to be celebrating a Christian religion?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to send out a thing, send out something decorative. That's nice.
Sure. Something for the new year.
But, I mean, we have fallen Jewish soldiers. We have, we have Purple Heart winners who are winners. Congratulations, you've won a Purple Heart. No, but we have Purple Heart recipients of all backgrounds.
Right.
Why are we celebrating Christmas?
Do we know that they don't do, I don't know, some Hanukkah thing? Or
they shouldn't do that either.
Or something for, well, but I mean, it would be better.
This is just, they just sent this out. It was a Christmas gift that they sent out to all the Purple Heart guys.
Right. Interesting.
Man, just...
So...
Can't we just acknowledge that this is a pluralistic society?
Yeah.
I'm not even advocating, like, atheism here. This is just acknowledging pluralism and embracing what America was supposed to be, which is pluralistic and non-denominational.
Right.
And clearly, this gesture is not those things.
Right.
It's neither pluralistic nor non-denominational.
Yeah.
Anyway. You ready for this one too?
Yeah, you've been very coy.
I've been teasing Frank.
You've been. I seriously do not know what's coming down the line. Like all the others, we give each other a sneak peek of what's coming down the line. But this one, I have no clue. He will not tell me what this is.
Cross on the moon. Everyone, please do yourself the favor of going to crossonthemoon.com. I'm tempted to donate to them.
Because you want to see a cross on the moon?
Because I just...
Wait, what do they mean by how... Do they just want to deliver a cross on the moon? Or do they want like a big billboard in the sky?
No, they want to just put a cross on the moon.
Just deliver one.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I'm glad you asked. They have.
Is this for? Are you sure this is for
It's
real?
totally legit. They are. If it's not legit, they have made it up to look completely legit. I think it's got to be legit.
Cross on them. Who cares?
Well, okay. Their first question in their FAQ is, why is it important to place a cross on the moon?
Yeah, good question.
The very act, it says, of placing a cross on the moon will remind us of its impact on our lives. The way of the cross runs through our churches, our homes, and our neighborhoods, our schools, and playgrounds.
They're talking about the impact of the cross.
Yeah.
Not the impact of the moon.
Yeah.
Which actually does have an impact on our lives.
Our moon, skip. Our moon has been revered by mankind throughout the ages. Placing the cross on the moon will be an accomplishment understood by generations. The glow of the moon in all its phases will add special comfort to Christians when the cross is there.
Wow.
No, so legitimately they are looking to, there's a like an X prize for getting a commercial thing onto the moon.
Okay.
And they're looking to piggyback on
Just
a Google X prize and just get it.
if it's a little tiny thing, yeah. I mean,
No, I think they want like life-size 6-foot person cross
oh my god.
on the moon.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, it's not. But wouldn't it be great?
Oh my god. What they need to do is they need to enter that X prize.
Yeah.
They need to develop their own delivery system because let's face it, next thing they're going to need to send Christian missionaries somewhere at some point. So they need their own little space fleet. Oh my god.
I want them to do well. I desperately
No, I don't.
desperately want
I think
them
it's offensive.
Of course it's offensive, but it's so ridiculous that it's delightful.
Who cares?
They do.
Because all of a sudden the moon's light is going to shine differently because there's a cross on it?
We'll just know. We will know in our hearts that there's a cross up there. You won't be able to see it through a telescope. We'll just and they're going to do an HD broadcast of it. of the cross going onto the moon.
Of course they will.
Oh,
And get it on some...
it's a very important project.
Oh, who cares? So there's going to be like a new space race, like first mosque on the moon.
Yeah, they're going to put a minaret up right next to the cross that dwarfs it in size.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make them so mad.
That would be so good.
They would be so angry.
If there is a religious space race, then yes. Yes,
Then
I'm all for that.
Then you're in support.
I can support that. I can get behind that. But I cannot get behind just a group of nitwitty Christians who are just like, let's get a cross up on
you know
on
the moon.
You know what's wrong with this world? Do you know what?
This galaxy?
Do you know how we could really solve so many of our problems? We could just
tell me, brother.
Well, I think that if we had a cross up on the moon, then Jesus could go visit the moon.
Maybe what?
Then
that's it. Well, okay, so that brings up another point because my initial response to that is, why would Jesus go visit a place where the only thing that's there is his murder weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Which I've always thought it was weird about venerating a cross because you're basically like venerating the way in which your guy was murdered.
Well, except what you have to remember is that you grew up in a kind of Christianity that doesn't see the atonement, the expiration as having taken place on the cross.
Right.
Mormons don't believe that. Mormons believe that it happened prior to the cross.
True.
Whereas your mainline Christians believe that Christ atoned for our sins. He took the weight of all the sins of the world onto him and whatnot. Although I think that actually is really Mormon terminology as well. I think they believe more that through his I don't even know.
Well,
to be
again,
honest, I don't know what they believe, but
the
I know
website
that the
says
grace
the way of the
mechanism
cross.
happened.
It talks about the way of the cross.
Yeah, his atonement happened on the cross for them.
Yeah,
and so for them, that's a big important symbol. And okay, if that's how your theology works, then I can see you using that as the symbol. But
still, it can't have good memories for Jesus.
No, I'm sure he's blocked it.
Yeah. He doesn't like to talk about it.
Years of therapy, centuries of therapy,
millennia.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At this point,
2 of them.
There are 2.
Yeah.
Just so much therapy. The poor guy.
Oh my God.
God, it was horrible. I'm
going to do it again. Cross on the moon. I just like saying it. Why?
That's awesome.
People, why can't we put a cross on the moon? Can we just put it? Let's go with our atheist brethren and try and get an atheist theme on the moon.
Atheist message on the moon. That's what we need to do. If there's a sign that we're going to put up somewhere, Dan, we need to do the same effort that they're doing to get a cross on the moon. If they are able to figure this out at the exact same time that that's being delivered, we need to make sure that there's an atheist message.
We need
on the
equal
moon.
time.
A quote from Thomas Jefferson on the moon.
We don't all like this thing, this cross.
People of the universe, don't judge us by this stupid gesture.
Judge us by this stupid gesture. Oh my God. I'm serious though. I do think we should craft a message. Our message, the Frank and Dan Thank God I'm Atheist podcast message. And we should try to get it somewhere. A billboard, perhaps? Salt Lake City?
Fortune cookies.
I
just crack it open. It's like, there is no God.
There is no God.
Something in Salt Lake? I mean, there's already the one on 2100 South Freeway.
Yeah, but it's not our thing. I just want because I don't like all of them. There's so many messages. Their messages I don't feel like they hit the mark.
What I want you to do, Dan, is I want you to come up with, well, we can do it together. I don't care. But let's come up with the actual message.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to say, oh, we don't like those, but I think it's better if we can say, well, this is what we should replace it with.
Right.
That's the whole thing of like, I don't want to go dinner there.
Right.
But you don't know anywhere that you want to go.
Not helpful.
Right.
No, this is what I'm saying. We should craft this message.
Right.
We will take your input, our dear listeners.
Yeah, please let us know.
If you want to email us or call the number, we'll have it again at the end of the broadcast. Probably, if we remember to do that. But yeah, give us your input as to what our message should be.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll work on that.
I'm all for that.
We'll work on that.
Okay. You've got one more. Well, actually, that's all of the news, right?
Yeah, I think we've exhausted.
Okay.
The news.
Then we have a review.
Right, but you know what?
Okay,
so here's the thing. We don't have a church review this week. That's not going to be a weekly thing.
Right.
But in podcasts past, a good 3 out of 5 of our podcasts so far have had movie reviews.
Yeah.
And none of them have been related to our topic at large, really.
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
So what we've decided to do is start to try and angle our reviews. We're pop culture, filmy type people, so we might as well just stick with it. But we're gonna maybe try and get an angle on it. And here's what I was thinking. My wife and I have been watching the Breaking Bads. We've been catching up on that
show.
It's a great show. It's actually a really fun show so far.
It continues to be good.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good. We're about a season and a half in. We're about halfway through season 2. And what I thought was interesting about it, and what I like about it, is that it brings up moral questions. Because I mean, the big thing with everybody distrusting atheists is, where does our morality come from?
Right.
How can you trust them? They don't have, a set
moral compass,
a set ethos.
Right.
So, okay.
Which I like compasses as like this idea, a moral compass. Yeah, those things spin around, folks. They just point wherever your belief is going to take you.
Unless, you non-Mormons out there, Google Liahona and learn about the real compass.
Your moral Liahona?
Jesus' compass. It'll help you in the wilderness.
It's all bullshit.
Well, duh. But the question, Breaking Bad, for those of you who haven't watched any of it, revolves around a nice family man who finds out he has cancer, and in order to pay for his treatment and to provide for his family, he can't do it on just his high school teacher salary.
Right.
So but he's a chemistry teacher, and he knows chemistry, and guess what you can make with chemistry? Methamphetamine.
That's true. Yeah. You can.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just chemistry, people. Science.
Sadly, I don't know chemistry.
Covalent bonds and whatnot.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I even remember what that means.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's using he starts cooking the meth. And it's just about his sort of his descent into immorality. But it's not about it's what's interesting to me, and the reason that I wanted to bring it up, that I think it's pertinent to our discussion,
right,
is that an atheist's view on morality has to be sort of by necessity more complex than a believer's view.
Yeah,
a believer's view is that morality is handed down from a magic daddy in the sky, and it's irrevocably, unchangeably set.
Right.
We're not there. That's not where. And so to some extent, I can see why the fear comes up when someone's saying, "Well, where does an atheist's morality come from?" As it turns out, the data show that atheists are more moral, or at very least. Let's not use morality is a very loaded term,
right?
But more pro-social. Pro-social behavior tends to run stronger among the atheist community than it does among the believer community.
Right.
In part, I think, because atheists have to confront their own sense of morality and really define it.
Right.
Whereas if you're a believer, you don't have to define your own sense of morality. You just have to borrow someone else's. So it's not as real to you.
Right.
This is
it's
a theory.
A struggle. You're trying your whole life to fit your square peg into that round hole.
Right. Yeah. And if there's something that doesn't quite jive with you, you still accept it and you just move on.
Right.
And so you don't own it. It's not you don't have the ownership if you're a believer.
Right.
I think that morality is a tricky thing. But what we see in Breaking Bad, and I think that this is an interesting thing, is that when you start down an antisocial pathway, which obviously cooking methamphetamine is not pro-social.
Yeah.
Even if you're not killing people, and even if you're not, even if you're being nice in every other way, people don't do well on methamphetamine.
No.
It doesn't have positive effects on society.
Right.
And there's no way to get around that fact.
Exactly.
So once you start down that road, even though in the first few seasons they're trying, Walt, our head character, and Jesse, his little pet,
troublemaking pet,
his little sidekick.
Yeah,
they try to be moral. Like they try to engage in pro-social behavior at the beginning.
Even Jesse.
Yeah, I think there's a core there that he doesn't want to hurt anybody. There's the one episode where he's sent out to hurt somebody, and he definitely doesn't want to do it.
Right.
In part because he's a pussy, but also because there's a clear they've written in a clear moral center, or at least not a clear one, but some moral grounding in both of these guys.
Sure.
But I think it's interesting in terms of pro versus antisocial behavior, and once you start down a path, can you hold on to X amount of pro-social belief and behavior and still do and I think that's the key. I think
how do you
integrity is the key.
You said you're about a season and a half?
Yeah, I'm halfway through season 2, I think.
Well, how do you think? Just out of curiosity, how do you think Walt's doing? Like, how do you think? Like,
so far, I think
what you're saying here, like, I wouldn't want somebody to fully misconstrue. right? What you're saying. So, like, I mean, dude is doing bad shit.
Yeah.
He is, like you said, engaging in antisocial behavior.
Right.
By cooking the meth.
But for what he deems to be justifiable reasons.
Right. But if everybody was able to make such a justification on that level,
right,
we'd be in more of a heap of a hurt than we are.
And I think
socially
I think we as humans inherently know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's interesting. New geneticists, new evolutionary biologists are seeing that pro-social behavior is how our species has survived for all these years.
Right.
And it's literally genetically ingrained in us to be pro-social toward other human beings.
Right.
It's just how we're designed.
Right.
It's how we're programmed.
So,
and as a matter of fact, if there has been a less social version of human of our species, they have died off because they are genetically disadvantaged.
Right.
Because we are pretty weak critters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
one of us does not do well.
No,
a bunch of us does very, very well.
Right.
2 or 3 of us sucks as a species.
Right.
So there is a genetic mandate for us to look out for each other and to behave in a way that benefits the society and doesn't overly favor the individual.
Right, but Walt is behaving in a way that does not benefit
Right,
society.
and I'm guessing it's starting to look in this series like the direction that's going is going to lead him down a path of self-destruction. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's right. I don't think that every person who does antisocial things self-destructs, but I think most of them do. I think we see that as a pattern in reality.
So what you're saying is Walt cannot be an anti-hero who gets away with this.
Only for so long.
Right.
And then things start he's already been involved in some nasty stuff. He hasn't directly done anything nasty yet.
Right.
But he's already been involved in some very nasty stuff.
Well, as somebody who is caught up on the Breaking Bad.
Yeah. You're up to date.
I'm up to date. I finished whatever the last season that is on iTunes. No, I'm sorry, on Netflix. And the season that was already out wasn't available on Netflix, but it was available on iTunes. I went and I purchased the season because I was just I needed to know where the story was going.
Right.
Because it is definitely one of those shows. Walt takes an interesting dive. And so I don't know, like the one thing that I have to say is I sense, because it is in particular American television, that he's probably going to live through it all at the end of whenever the series ends. I don't think he's like. Well, I think it'd be hard to get the audience to really accept Walt's death at the end. Although they might go there. And they might go there.
But the thing is,
but he can't end up a kingpin. He can't end up on top. He's got to. He can either get himself out after enough suffering to justify it to the audience that he's paid his dues,
a redemption,
or he's not his dues, but he's paid the price for his sins, right? And
you know what that means? Somebody in the immediate family is going to die.
Sure.
They could kill off Walt Jr.
Oh, that would be
wouldn't that be devastating?
It would be horrifying. I think that would have to be handled. And
anyway,
I think the audience would hate Walt at that point.
But they've got to kill somebody.
No, I know, but I think the audience would hate Walt.
You think?
Yeah. I think it'd be easier to kill his wife.
Skylar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she might be dead.
I don't see it being Walt. You
can't kill
Can't kill the kid.
And especially since he's handicapped. He's physically disabled.
He's crippled out.
Well, yeah, but it's not like we're tremendously politically correct here anyway. I said retarded earlier. People don't like it when you say that.
Yeah. I think just killing that kid in particular, because he's so sweet, and they'd have to like do something to the character first.
Right.
You know, they'd have to like have him.
Or maybe
go down
they don't kill him, but they could really,
whatever.
really hurt him.
Yeah, they could do that.
Anyway, what we're saying is that this kind of line requires intense pain for Walt, and then in order to earn a redemption,
right?
Any kind of redemption, even a small redemption.
Wow, it's very Christian. It's very Christian dynamic you've set up.
Well,
there.
I mean, I think that we can very clearly state that going back long before Christianity, this is the prototype of stories that we as humans respond to.
Well, there has to be a price to pay. You commit a crime, whether or not you get caught for that crime. If in a story, we need to see you suffer for that crime.
Yeah,
we have to.
Yeah. Or it could just be one of those totally antisocial stories.
Just glorification of the...
Right, where they get away with it. But that's, whatever.
But
those are the horror films, right? Those are the stories where it's like, oh no, the worst story ever. Like Saw, the bad guy got away. No.
Right. Or Ocean's 11.
Oh, but they don't hurt anybody,
and they have like this. They have, and what's interesting about that film is that they set up a very, they set up a very strong sort of ethical. These are the thieves with a heart of gold.
Right. Yeah.
These guys, they do have a moral compass. They do have rules. They have people they won't hit. And they always hit a bad guy who's worse than them.
Yeah.
They
oh my gosh. Yeah.
And nobody gets actually hurt.
Right.
A rich bad guy loses a bunch of money.
Right. Yeah, and that's...
Even though let's face it, Ocean and all his friends, they're not good people.
No.
You shouldn't.
Oh, but they are. In the
just
show,
because it's Brad Pitt, and just because it's who's Danny Ocean,
George Clooney.
George Clooney. How did I blank on George Clooney's name?
Such a charmer.
Oh,
These guys are such charmers.
Oh, I know. Oh, and it's just filled with so many charmers.
Oh yeah, it's
all fun.
They just charm that money right out of the bank, right out of the vault.
Yeah. Oh. But anyways, yeah. I mean, but I think that whole Anyhow. Well, is that?
I think we've done it. I think we've
come this episode.
We've gotten through it. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Bye. To stay in touch with us,
follow us on Twitter at TGI Atheist.
Email us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or leave us a voicemail at 424-666-TGIA. That's 424-666-8442.
We'd love to hear from you.